is up, my kings and queens? It's your man Cash is King. Today I'm going to be showing you the latest working method for you to make a magic slot solo using a current duplication glitch. Alright, now the dynamics of this glitch and method are a little bit different than what we've been used to. We're not going to have the usefulness of gift cards to friends and slot manipulation to back us up. Alright, now as things change and we move forward, it'll be important for us to take our time to step back and remember some of the things from the past, the tools that we have afforded to us, and how they can assist us in moving into the next phase of Grand Theft Auto. Alright, so if you have a new account, or if you've never made a magic slot before and you're just now getting into it, you'll need to know a working method in order for you to obtain one. Alright, and so your man Cash has got some things worked out for you, and I'm going to be using an example to create 2 magic slots for myself today. Alright, and so we're going to be jumping off the ledge a little bit here, and you're just going to have to trust me, follow the slot manipulation, and it should be easy for you to accomplish. Alright, and so the first thing I'm going to do is show you the preparation that we need. And I'm just going to go ahead and make my way on down to Alta Avenue. I have a 10-car garage here stored inside, and I also have my bike racks with bikes purchased to them so that they are unlocked and available to me, and so that I can have access. Alright, now as you can see, I've got one BMX bike. That rack I've used to make a magic slot with this method already, and I'll be using the other 2 Scorchers that are parked here to make 2 more magic slots for my account. Alright, and so you'll want to verify obviously that you're in a property first that will allow you to make magic slots. The best way that we can do that is by going into Dynasty 8's website, acting as if we are going to purchase a property, and you should have all 8 of your garages unlocked. Now the bottom 5 garages are only going to be the garages that we use to make magic slots, and as you can see, number 8, I have Alta, where I'm located currently. Alright, and you do need to have bikes that were purchased from the website so that they will have insurance. And what you'll first want to do is just choose a Scorcher from the wall that is tied to a DLC bike rack slot, take it out, and we're just going to destroy it so that it is placed in the Moore's Mutual insurance list. Alright, now a sticky bomb or a grenade should do. And like I had mentioned, I'm going to be making 2 magic slots, so I just went ahead and ran outside and destroyed me another Scorcher from the wall. Now I'm also going to be taking this adder out with me, and I need to have a regular personal vehicle destroyed in Moore's Mutual Insurance, so that when I call them, I'll be able to see a couple of vehicles on their list. If you do not have a regular personal vehicle destroyed, it will say that the line is busy, although you know you had 2 bikes from the bike rack destroyed and in insurance. Alright, so I've just went ahead and took that vehicle down to my nightclub, and I need to get a vehicle outside on the map and tied to my character that is from this location. So I had this Sabre GT stored inside. It was in my nightclub service entrance, and I'm just going to leave it out on the map and make my way back in. And we're going to be using the glitch out method using the DJ here inside of our nightclub, and it will be very important that you've already done the nightclub setup so that you have stole the equipment and gotten the DJ off of the plane in Solomon so that you could launch and be able to use this method. Alright, and so I'll just lay down on my bed, hit pause, load up my map, and begin any job once I'm laying down. And as you can see, the map will fall, the job will not start, and you'll just have a loading circle in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. From there you can feel free to make your way onto your computer. You will need to be registered into SecuroServe to have access, but you can hit right D-pad to sit down and hit X to access the computer. We're just going to go into our resident DJ options, and as you can see, it says rebook for 10 grand, and the other 2 I haven't booked yet, so they cost 100 grand. So you are going to need to have 2 DJs unlocked and one that says rebook. Alright, and you'll just choose to rebook that DJ, and after a moment it'll kick you into the clouds, and it will go ahead and launch that job that you started on your pause menu. Alright, and as you can see, it was a stunt race that I had chosen. Once you do load up into the options menu in the settings screen for that job, you can simply hit circle and accept the alert to quit the job. And once you do back out, you should be loaded outside of your nightclub, invisible and frozen. Alright, now at this part you're going to need to have a friend who's entitled of a job in an invite only session for you to join on, so you can get kicked out and get the private alert that will drop you back down from the clouds, and you will now be able to move. Now, you can use Wintry Cleric 63. Shout out to you, big homie. That is the person that I decided to bounce off to. Our proud community members who decided to help out by leaving their consoles in Titan. Alright, and as you can see, I've just went ahead and got back in that Saber, drove it back to my nightclub to the floor that it belongs, and I got the glitched out screen under the map where I could hit triangle and fall through. Just as if we were using it to receive vehicles with the old method, I'm going to request out my RC Bandito. Once I do request out my RC Bandito, I can hit triangle to close, and I should be loaded back on the map, but I should be glitching as I am re-rendered. Alright, now I can tell that I'm fully glitched out. Now, obviously, instead of receiving vehicles, I'm going to be using this to duplicate. And we're going to be using this duplication glitch to make our magic slot. And this should mean that we're set up and ready to go. Alright, so after we fell through the map, we requested our RC Bandito out, you can job teleport onto the closest job marker to your special vehicle warehouse. And we are going to need to go into our special vehicle warehouse as a finalization piece. Alright, and so as you can see, I've just started up a job close, went ahead and found a friend who was in a different targeting mode, double tapped and joined on him 2 times, and once I got a different targeting mode alert, I declined it. You'll come out from the clouds and just make your way to your special vehicle warehouse. Now after about 15 seconds on the black screen, you should be kicked out, invisible in the basement where your special vehicles are, and there should be no special vehicles stored. Even if you do own them, they just will not appear as you're in the default location. Now once you're in here, the only way to get out is going to be the job teleport. And you can go ahead and job teleport to the job marker on the corner of the LS car meet. And you should already have your friend set up in a different targeting mode so that you can double tap join and double tap join to get the different targeting mode alert. Once you do, you'll decline it and you should be kicked out of the job down on the ground where the job marker is outside of the car meet. And once you are inside of the car meet, you'll just want to exit your vehicle so that you are on foot. Feel free to get right back into your vehicle, and you're just going to hit circle to exit. And as soon as you hit circle to exit, the screen will go black and you'll want to start spamming on right D-pad. Now I just spamming on right D-pad, spamming on right D-pad, even as I continue to see myself outside, and it'll take about 2 seconds for you to hear a click, and then you should be loaded right back in to the workshop that is inside of the tuner's LS car meet. Now as you can see, there's no lights on inside, there is not a lot of action going on, and I'm in the default car meet, but I do have the workshop open, so I don't need to make any changes to this vehicle. I'm just going to hit circle and back out, and as the animation cuts me out, I should appear right back outside with my vehicle. Now as you can see, I'm pressing the gas, but this vehicle will not move or drive. It will be fully bricked. Alright, and so you'll just want to leave this vehicle out on the map, and we can feel free to job teleport to the location closest to our arcade. Alright, and for me, my arcade is just up from the arena. I have it on Grove Street, so I'm just going to use the parachute job. Once I start that job, I'll double tap, join on my friend, double tap, join on my friend. I should get a different targeting mode alert on the second alert, and I'll decline it. Alright, now before you enter your arcade, you just want to go to your vehicle option in your interaction menu, and we're going to return our personal vehicle to storage. That S2 from my MOC is still tied to my character. Alright, and so once you return it to storage and you have no vehicles on the map, you can feel free to call Moore's Mutual Insurance. And if you have your 2 Scorchers destroyed and your 1 personal vehicle destroyed as well, you should be able to check your list and see that I do have them 2 bikes from the wall and that 1 personal vehicle from its location. So I'll just call out my Scorcher because I have no other personal vehicle on the map. You should be able to see it flicker, and it will now be on the map with you as your most recent personal vehicle. Alright, perfect. We're ready to duplicate and make ourselves some magic slot. All good. So you'll just want to make your way on into your arcade. Now inside of your arcade, it'll be very important that you have a unique motorcycle stored. A motorcycle that is only stored in this location, and one that you do not have in any other location. If you are good at slot manipulation and can follow the vehicle, you might want to use a modded vehicle. You can make some small changes to change its identity so that you'll be able to keep track of it. But as you can see, I have a Carbon RS here, and I have 2 Sanchez's that are parked off on the side. And those are just going to be donor vehicles that I'm going to lose. Alright, and so this Carbon RS that is a unique motorcycle to me, I'm just going to want to get on it and hit right D-pad. And it should take me right into the LS car meet and allow me to get a workshop menu. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have been familiar with this as a duplication process over the past couple of months, and this is going to be a workaround for us, okay? And so once you do enter the workshop, you'll just want to go to the plate of the vehicle and make a change of the identifying features so that you can keep track of the duplicated copy. So I'm just going to first buy the yellow and blue plate, and even though I purchased this plate on this vehicle, it will not change the plate for the original version. Only the duplicated version should have that blue plate. But I'll just exit the workshop, and I should see an animation of myself go back into the arcade, and you can feel free to exit the vehicle, and you'll notice that you still have the personal vehicle that you own on the map. So inside of your interaction menu, you're going to return your personal vehicle to storage, and once it clears, you're done with the glitch. So we've duplicated that Carbon RS, we have tied it to our DLC bike rack slot that was on the wall as we had that BMX bike with us, and when you return it to storage, instead of a BMX bike being put on the wall, you'll be putting a duplicated Carbon RS on top of its slot right back onto the wall. Alright, so now you can feel free to exit, and as you can see when I pull up my phone, I do have kind of a glitch job screen. Alright, and so it is a little difficult for you to find your Moore's Mutual Insurance, but as you can tell, I could still kind of see it. It wasn't too much of a problem. Alright, and so once you do call Moore's Mutual Insurance, you'll just want to request out that other Scorcher, because I am going to be making 2 magic slots, and I can make them back to back in a row. Alright, and so as soon as that Scorcher shows back up on the map at Moore's Mutual Insurance, it'll be tied to my character's personal vehicle slot. I can feel free to enter the arcade again on foot, where I have that original unique motorcycle. Alright, now this original unique motorcycle, I'll get right back on it and hit right D-pad. Now as you can tell, it does still have its white and red and blue San Andreas numbers plate as it did to begin with, even though I had purchased that license plate as I had said. So this time I'm going to go into the plate and I'm going to buy a yellow and black plate. Alright, so that I have 2 different versions and I can identify the 2 different slots that I'm using. Once you do buy that second plate, you can feel free to exit the workshop. You should see your animation of you under the map and then appear right back into your arcade. You can feel free to exit the vehicle, open up your interaction menu, and you can return the vehicle to storage that you see on the map that's still tied to you, that BMX bike. And as we return it to storage, once again, we will be sending another duplicated Carbon RS back to the wall, tied to that DLC bike rack slot, and we will have lost the Scorcher that was attributed to it. Alright, and so now as you can see, you'll want to register into your motorcycle club so that you can find those duplicated Carbon RSs that you have just made. Alright, and they're going to be on the wall, so the only way you can access them is by going to the Fleece Heist or quickly by using your motorcycle club. Alright, now the first vehicle on my list was the Carbon RS, so I requested it out, and as you can see, it does have the black plate, the duplicated version. And as I take it into the arcade, I'll get the full alert. And now this vehicle is coming off of the wall, and it is a magic slot, so it's very important that you do have a full garage. And as I pull it in, I'm just going to be swapping it out for one of those donor Sanchez's that I had stored here. Alright, and that will allow me to extract the DLC bike rack slot that's on the wall that has the duplicated Carbon RS on top of it, and pull it into my arcade with me while I push that Sanchez on a personal vehicle slot back in its place. Now, as you can see, I do have the two versions here, the one that had the original white plate and this one with the black plate. So I still have one more Carbon RS that's on my wall that I need to pull down so that I can obtain my other magic slot. And now for me, they were both just stacked right next to each other. So I called out my other Carbon RS in my menu, and yours might be a little bit farther down the line, but as you can see, this one does have the blue plate. So I found the secondary Carbon RS that I have duplicated. And you can feel free to take this one right back into that garage, and we're gonna again choose to push one of our donor Sanchez's onto the wall, and that will have allowed us to extract that DLC bike rack slot that we know is a magic slot and pull it down into our garage. Alright, so now I should have two magic slots with Carbon RS's on top of them that I had duplicated off of this original version. And as I can look to see, I do have the blue plate on one, I do have the black plate on the other, and I still have the original version in my car slot number 10 that I had used to duplicate to them bike rack slots in the first place with the white plate. Alright, and so now that I know I've been able to extract them magic slots from the wall, and they are stored on the floor in place of personal vehicle slots, I'm just going to want to go ahead onto my phone and go into the Arena War series and purchase the Impaler over them two Carbon RS's that I intend to make magic slots out of. Now as you can see, slot number 10, the Carbon, the Weevil, and then the next Carbon RS, which is my magic slot vehicle, I'll make sure that I purchase over the correct vehicles. Alright, I want to keep that original version, and so you can verify your location. The RS, the Weevil, the Impaler I just purchased, and my next magic slot. I'll buy over that Carbon RS. Alright, and so I'm going to have to wait for a moment for them vehicles to be delivered, and it might take a little bit of time just because it is to a magic slot, which is a DLC bike rack slot, and only bicycles belong on them slots. So the fact that you're buying cars is going to confuse the game, and it may take an extra 2 minutes or so, something like that. But in the meantime, you can feel free to make your way outside. And I went to the rec center at the half pipe just to steal me a BMX bike, and these street BMX bikes will allow you to store them off of the street, but you can feel free to take it right back into that location that you had used to use magic slots. And as you can see, I had them Sanchez's on the wall, the donor vehicles that I had stored in my arcade that I had pushed, and that's why it's very important to have vehicles that you can get rid of, so that when you overwrite them with the street BMX bike, you're able to take control of that slot, but you don't have a vehicle lost to your character or a car that you won't have access to unless you're going into the Fleece heist. Alright, and so as you can see, I just went ahead and filled up both slots real quick, and after I was done, I did have the message that the Impalers had been delivered. Now we're going to have to move them to Arena War Impalers from our arcade and get them stored into our arena so we can test our magic slots. The most important piece of making a magic slot is actually correctly testing a magic slot to verify that it is going to work and be an upgradable DLC bike rack slot that will provide you with magic. Alright, and so there's several different versions through time that have been said to work, but the truth is bad magic slots and good magic slots both react the same when you close your application or if you swap your character, and they just simply revert back to stock. And so using them methods won't allow you to 100% be able to identify a working magic slot versus a bad magic slot. The only way will be to attempt to flip a vehicle and see if you can pass upgrades. With the Impaler being a non-upgraded Arena War vehicle, we can upgrade this vehicle, which will allow it to believe it has a new identity and disconnect our internet. We should be able to semi-solo duplicate to this vehicle to see if it will retain upgrades. So as you can see, I went ahead and just called my mechanic to request out that second Impaler, and I've got both them magic slot vehicles here with me in the arena, and they are ready to test. Now, because we were glitched out, we're not going to be able to get our right D-pad option to work inside of our arena. So you're going to want to go ahead and make sure your spawn location is set to last location. Force a save by changing your style of clothing. You can back out to creator and load right back into an invite only session. We shouldn't need to be glitched out anymore, and this will allow us to test it right away. This is a magic slot creation and not just a flip anyhow. So once you are back in your arena, you can feel free to hit right D-pad to take that Impaler into the workshop. And we're just going to want to hit our PlayStation button, go into our settings. Inside of our network, we'll hover over connect to the internet and double tap our PlayStation button to come back in the Grand Theft Auto 5. And so we are going to want to upgrade this vehicle to a Future Shock Impaler. And as soon as we see the vehicle upgrade itself, we will double tap and disconnect the internet. Alright, and you do want to see the vehicle actually flip, and once you disconnect, you should get the alert that you have lost connection to the internet, and it will kick you back down into story mode. And again, you can load right back into another invite only session. Now once you do, you should be able to see that secret gold trim shining in that new magic slot Impaler, and I had to go ahead and test my second one back to back because I did make two. But you can feel free to follow the same process, alright? And as you can see, I've got both of these Impalers here showing the secret gold trim from the upgrade, even though they are reverted back to their original vehicle identity, which is just a non-upgraded Impaler, and we are good to go and ready to use our magic slot. Now I suggest storing these inside of your facility with the current state of gift cards to friends, and you also want one to use in the back of your MOC so that you can solo flip using the duplication method outside of the auto shop. A lot easier. Alright, and so I hope that this method will help you guys out and that you'll be able to obtain them magic slots. As always, be safe and have a great day, everybody. Peace.